Yep.
For the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots.
Right, so it said the Gentiles caused riot in our areas. That's why you have the problem in the ghettos, even the ghettos of Rome. That's how we fell in Rome. It's, when they started sieging the temple in Rome before 65 or 66 AD, it started with civil wars and riots that they would start with us, man. When they would make the men wear yellow tags, a yellow badge, and then make the women wear yellow outfits or yellow covers over their head, you know, to separate you from society as a poor or a slave. And they would only allow you to work by the docks. That's where you had, what, Peter and them doing fishing. Now you had, they also had something called an ID of Rome. And they would make you carry ID that had Zeus on it. And if you didn't get that, they'd put you to death. That's why a lot of them were getting killed at that time. You had, what's his name? Saint Maurice. Alright? He was known as the one that bore the lance that pierced your house on the side. So he was a Jake, right? And as this Jake died, he had a legion of like 6,000 people. And that legion that was with him was all Jakes. And they were serving Rome. They were like the hired assassins of Rome. The thing is, they were called Christians later because they believed in Yahweh Shai. You see that? They gave into the faith. And they didn't want to bear that. They didn't want to go against the Carthaginians, which were Israelites. They said, yo, go kill all of them children and everybody. And they were like, nah, we done. We ain't killing no more. They are people. You see that? And that's when they said, yo, hey, you got to bear this badge of Zeus. And they wouldn't do that either. So they cut all their heads, killed them. All right? So that's, you know, it started with the ghettos, the riots in the ghettos. The same thing they did back then, they did it again. Nothing new under the sun, man.
Come on, I got a precept.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead.
All right, this is First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 41 again. It says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
There you go, man.
And I'm skip down to verse 50.
May I make a bucket shot?
Come on.
All right. So that back then, you could see they were trying to bring in the New World Order, right? Trying to bring everybody together, that's what the Begging Elite family is trying to do to this present time, all right? They're bringing the New World Order with that chip, you know, the Karagma, the RFID chip.
That's the new Roman ID.
Yeah, see, and the thing about it is it's not even a point of bringing everybody together, because if you want to bring everybody together, you have to have a common ground that everybody can meet on. But see, what they're doing is trying to bring everybody together under their decree, under under the agenda that they want to push. So basically, it's not really bringing everybody together. It's just like, hey, do what the fuck I say do.
Get down and lay down.
Get down and lay down. Right. But he said, you know what I'm saying, even though, you know, when the Lord sent Jeremiah to his people, he said, I shall make their foreheads hard against their foreheads. And it's the same thing. So we say the same thing, get down and lay down, you know. They stand for Satan, the devil. We stand for Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Correct. Amos 3 and 2, just to back y'all up. You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. And the scriptures say, can two walk together except they be agreed? So you can try to bring these nations all together all they want. You can try to bring the black community together all you want according to color. But you're still going to have multiple religions, which is nothing but what? Legion.
That's just like how y'all said earlier, those hands join the hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished.
Right, man. You could be in a room full of crowded people. If they don't agree on one mind, they're not together. Right? Us, we scattered around the four corners of the earth, being brought together in one mind, Yahweh Shai. So we're together, being gathered together in the spirit. Right? Oh, yeah. So let's keep rocking. Go ahead, bro.
Alright, back at verse 4. For the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots.
Right, the Gentiles, meaning the natural Gentiles, and also 2/3 that sold out became Gentiles. Right? Becoming what? Spiritually uncircumcised. Alright?
And had to do with women within the circuit.
Right, to be circumcised. So lucky, my bad. Because you had the circumcision and you had the uncircumcision. The circumcision represents the Israelites that kept the laws. Alright?
It had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places. And besides that, brought in things that were not lawful. The altar also was filled with profane things.
Right, that was our people selling out, bringing wickedness into the altar. All right, go ahead.
With the law.
And they were casting their idols upon it and painting it and putting, they were writing all over it, all their languages and different languages.
Because, so like I know Antiochus IV, he had prostitutes in our temple, in the history.
That's what he's going to get into.
Which the law forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient fasts or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
Right, that was lawful to us, but it wasn't lawful to these Edomites. All right, just like today, it's not lawful to you goddamn Edomite that structured this place called America, which you call the founding fathers. All right, go ahead. It's not lawful to y'all to do it.
And in the day,
to do that, we got to call out of work. We'll lose our job calling out on Sabbath and shit like that. Go ahead.
And in the day of the king's birth, every month they were brought by bitter constraint to eat.
They were brought by bitter constraint. You got to catch that point.
By bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices.
Right. And the sacrifices was what? Like swine. And our people were willing to die not to eat that. Just like today, you goddamn people die to eat.
Yeah. And the thing about it, if you look up the real true traditions of Easter, the true traditions of Easter is to bake a ham.
There you go.
So there's nothing new under the sun. The same things are still going. And you got our people, they'll kill you about their Easter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
there's no such thing as Easter. Easter just means Ishtar, which goes back to Babylon, you know, the worship of Semiramis or Queen of Heaven. Now, what it's supposed to be there during the time of Herod is what? Passover, the Passover.
Come on, I got precept.
And that was the same Passover where they put Peter in the prison.
And then
44 AD.
So it's like what they call the Last Supper. Like that was the Passover.
That's right.
There's no the Last Supper was the Passover. So they try to teach you about certain perverse things in their own way of thought. You know what I'm saying? Which all goes back to Babylonian worship, man. This all goes back from the beginning, man. Straight up.
Come on.
All right, verse 7. And when the fast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus, carrying ivy.
We said that last part?
The Jews were compelled to go in procession.
What verse you at?
Verse 7.
Yeah, bro.
Start from the top.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get there so I can help you out.
Alright, verse 7. And in the day of the king's birth, every month, they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the fast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus, carrying ivy. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews, that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices.
Right, they was doing wicked holidays, basically. Go ahead.
And whoso would not conform themselves to the manners.
So basically saying that the Jews had to give up their beliefs and follow the paganized Jews. All right.
Not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles should be put to death.
Right.
Then might a man have seen the present misery. For there were 2 women brought who had circumcised their children, whom when they had openly led round about the city, the babes hanging at their breasts, they cast them down headlong from the wall.
They threw our babies. We was there. Like, we were there, man. If you in this truth, you were there. You were there. You were there during slavery. You were there during 70 AD. Alright? If you count the 300 to 400 years, you were there. So you probably had children that they threw off the damn wall and cast your child, man. You know, and in slavery they did the same thing.
And just think about it, for the ones that are in the truth right now, that saying F the kids or whatever like that, but just think about it. If you were there in those times and you in this truth now, you know what I'm saying, it's like everything that you lost, because you still, if you're upholding the law to the best of your abilities right now, you were doing it back then. You know what I'm saying? He says, so everything that you sacrificed in those times, you know what I'm saying, was given right back to you in these times. So when you're going into the kingdom, bro, you know what I'm saying, you're going to regain everything back. And this is the process of regaining everything back, man. Because we're in the times where we're going to be, you know what I'm saying, we're in those times of salvation right now.
Right, and once the new world order comes in, the scriptures say the devil shall come, he should come down having great wrath because he know he got but a short time.
I got it.
And when they doing that, we ain't got to get it, it's cool.
All right.
But when they doing that, the water though, when they doing that, they're gonna threaten people's children again, man. All right. Look at Planned Parenthood. You know. Go ahead, brother.
This is Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 12. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken.
Right, it wasn't made for us to be drinking of that cup, slavery. All right, but we drunk of it. We, you know, still drinking of it in some senses. Being in this bondage, man, and corruption, and having to go to work and shit every day. You know, go ahead.
And art, thou, he that shall altogether go unpunished, thou shalt not go unpunished.
Oh, read it again? Look, my bad, you good.
And art thou, he that shall altogether go unpunished, thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it.
Right, Esau. These are the nations, they going to drink of that cup. Alright, what they mean for evil for us, the Lord is going to turn it to good for us. It's meant for good for us, man. Alright. Go ahead, brother. All the way to 12.
Alright, back in 2 Maccabees chapter 6, verse 11. And others that had run together into caves nearby to keep the Sabbath day secretly, being discovered by Philip, were all burnt together.
So people that were keeping the Sabbath and trying to hide just to keep the Sabbath, just to rest. Just to rest.
You got killed for chilling.
Get killed for chilling. Just like Esau come kill you for just chilling on the street. Police. See that? They say sitting while black.
No loitering.
No loitering and shit like that. It's black, so-called black man just standing there and they come up just popping.
Precept. Alright, this is 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 56. It says, and when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire, and whosoever was found with any book of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should be put to death. So just like the brother was saying, man, all those that were trying to abide by the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, those that were found doing so were put to death, man. You know what I'm saying? Just like in these times, whether you small or great, man or woman, you know, it doesn't matter.
And man, I made for Bakashah. You have just recently in California, they want to do away with the Bibles. You know?
But you gotta like get it like classified as a gun or something like that?
Yeah,
They call it weapon.
If I may.
They have already made it to where you have to register the Bible as a gun. It's already been deemed as a weapon. So they're saying in California that this Bible is a weapon.
Gun.
Because
they're right.
Because for the most part, to a degree, they are right. Yeah, this Bible is a sword, but see, it cuts down and it comes against their wickedness. So now they want to come against it, and so now they've outlawed it already. You know, and if you have one, you have to register your Bible as if you have an AR-15 or 9mm or 357.
Pretty soon they'll probably say if you're a convicted felon, you can't have a Bible.
Supposedly we saying.
So they're already coming against the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Eventually they may even start putting people to death because they got a Bible. They may not even read it, but because you have it in your possession, they're probably going to try to kill you.
Because some men, according like the scripture says in Revelation chapter 20, some men are going to be martyred for the testimony of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and also not bowing down to that chip, that karagma.
The thing about it is not so much as you possessing the Bible, but you possessing the Word. Because many people can read the Bible and not give an understanding of what it's saying. You know,
Yeah, fakes, man. He probably got like 100 Bibles in his possession. Hey, this is Hebrews 4:12. For the word of Yahweh is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword. Alright, what was Esau blessed with? The sword. And today's modern day weapon, sword is the chopper, the gun. Right? It says piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit. You send your ass nightmares at night. And you gotta look forward to that ass whooping years down the line. You know? And out of this, you know, it's like a 2,000-year walk of death.
I'm gonna beat your ass 2,000 years from now.
All
right, you gotta go to the store. Like, man.
Yeah, man, walking. Still walking.
It's like sending your child to go get a switch for you to beat their behind.
Right.
You walking, that's what
Hey, boy, that's the most terrifying sound in the world. Hearing the wind of the switch.
Right? Alright, this is verse 12. It says, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. And that's why the apostles coming up with a lesson saying, just let the word speak. Because the word is what cut these people, not us. You know what I mean? So it's them. It's the word that's cutting to the heart and to the bones and to the marrow. Alright?
Alright, 2 Maccabees chapter 6 verse 11.
You can jump down to 12, get to the point.
Alright, verse 12. Now I beseech those that read this book.
This is the point, man, of how the Lord is going to cast the lot for the children of Israel and give us the glory and take the glory from Esau. Alright? Regime change.
That they be not discouraged for these calamities.
So the Lord is saying, don't be discouraged, man. Don't be discouraged of what's coming. No fear of what's coming to this place. All right, at destruction and famine, you're going to laugh. Go ahead. And Sirach chapter 2 says, hey, put the camera on. Sirach chapter 2 says, has any prophets of old ever had faith in Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai? And
I get it.
Yeah, throw it out.
Sirach chapter 2, verse 10, it says, look at the generations of old and see did ever any trust in the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken, or whom did he ever despise that call upon him?
Right, man. You know, and that's just clear. So we can make a bet on it. We can cast a lot. You know, who has ever been confounded that believed on Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, man? That's why you gotta have faith in these times, man.
Praise God.
Alright? Go ahead, brother.
This is Hebrews 6 and 10. It says, for Yahweh is not unrighteous to forget your works and labor of love, which ye have showed towards his name, and that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister. So basically backing up the same thing. So if you're out here doing this work, you're not doing it in vain, so you have no reason to fear. The ones that need to fear are the ones that haven't been doing this work, right?
Right? Alright, go ahead, brother.
But that they judge those.
Call you spot, yeah.
2 Maccabees chapter 6, verse 12. Now I beseech those that read this book that they be not discouraged for these calamities.
Right, that's why the scriptures say, blessed is he that readeth, man. And if you set up to read this book and to understand, then you're not gonna be discouraged. You're gonna be encouraged. All right, go ahead.
But that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation.
So that was set up for a chastening of the people. It wasn't to lift you up, Esau. All right. So the lot is gonna be cast, and you're gonna fall. Go ahead. That was it. All the way 12.
12.
13. You go to 13, brother.
Alright, verse 13, for it is a token of his great goodness when wicked doers are not suffered for any long time, but forthwith punished.
Right, man. Keep going.
For not as with other nations whom the Lord patiently forbeareth to punish.
So the Lord is long suffering, bearing these nations. He said what? He angry with the wicked every day. You know, the Lord said he angry with the wicked every day, but he's long suffering, you know, to usward, man, that we'll get the kingdom. So he didn't bring us down, you know, because he hates us. Well, he did hate our wickedness, but he didn't bring us down to destroy us forever. But what he did was bring us down to scourge us and to correct us.
Humble us.
Humble us, right? Go ahead, brother.
For not as with other nations whom the Lord patiently forbeareth to punish, till they be come to the fullness of their sins, so dealeth he with us.
Right, Esau is coming to the fullness of his sins now. They had to come from all that wickedness back then. The Lord set it up to judge them, so they can play the wicked from the time of the Greeks all the way until now.
There's some states that do away with Columbus Day. There's some states that do away with Columbus Day and they call it Native American Day, because they know that Christopher Columbus, first of all, didn't discover America. Also, he didn't. He did a whole bunch of wickedness while he was over there.
Sex trafficking, the children. And he discovered the Caribbean, and the Caribbean that he landed on was Hispaniola, which is modern day the Dominican Republic in Haiti. That was it.
I got precept real quick. Alright, just dealing on the point I just made. This Romans chapter 9 verse 17. So, alright, so basically this whole setup was a way for the Most High to display His power.
Wait, real quick, can you bring this out real quick? Wait, bring that out real fast.
Alright, 2 Maccabees chapter 6 verse 15.
That's the point.
Lest that, being come to the height of sin, afterwards he should take vengeance of us.
Right. So after everybody comes to the height of their sin, that's when the Lord going to take vengeance on these nations for us. Alright? So that's what? He going to cast a lot and give it to us in the end times. That's why we in the time of that pearl. Alright?
Oh my God, that's so beautiful, because that just goes exactly into what I'm about to talk about. So just think about the Exodus when he sent Moses to tell Pharaoh to let his people go, let my people go, but he said, I will harden his heart, would heighten his sins. So he came more prideful, and put more pressure on the children of Israel. All right,
I got that too.
Romans 9 and 17.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna keep going.